You know how I know that most men still don't understand, the masculine and feminine dynamic? I know because men are still having the conversations about why women aren't doing a certain thing, or why women aren't being submissive, or why women aren't acting, in accordance to, XYZ. I'm telling you, brothers, real men don't have those conversations. Real men don't have those conversations, at least from a place of trying to, at least not from a place of pointing, saying, hey, women need to change and yada yada yada. Real men don't move like that. They don't speak like that. They don't think like that. Because real men know that if they move in a certain energy, then a certain result, a certain outcome has to take place. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like going to your girl or your woman or your wife, right? And having a conversation with her saying, like, babe, like, why aren't you acting more feminine? Or babe, why aren't you submitting to me as a man? Brothers, I'm gonna tell you this. If you're having that conversation, your relationship is over. Your relationship has been over. A real man doesn't have that conversation, brothers. Again, a real man understands that when he moves in a certain energy, then a lot of things don't even have to be said. So a lot of you brothers that are still, and I don't want to sit there and say complaining, but a lot of you brothers that still don't understand why you're getting a certain outcome, brother, it all goes back to what James Allen said, man. He said, man does not attract what he wants. He said, man attracts what he eats.
Who are we? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are powerful beyond measure. We are creators of our own realities. We are immortal mind. Immortal mind.
Is it not written in your law that ye are God? Understand what I'm saying? This depends on what law
you I was chilling with my homie Bricks not long ago, man, and y'all know Bricks. I'm sure a lot of y'all that follow this channel follow Bricks, man. He's been on this channel a time or two, right? And y'all know that Bricks is a mover and a shaker, man. Bricks might be in Cali one day. He might be in Florida the next day. He might be in Sedona the next day, and who knows where the next day. So it's odd, or it's not too frequent when me and this brother's path cross, right? But our paths crossed, man, recently, and brother said, pull up, man. I pulled up, and we had a excellent chop session, man. Anybody that makes content, whether it's on YouTube, anybody that makes content, whether it's on the gram, whether it's on TikTok, you can really appreciate those times, man, where you can have a sit down with a brother or a sister and really turn the cameras off, man. Like there's a piece that comes with that, man, and I'm glad that's one of the brothers I can have those type, behind the scenes, iron sharpening iron type conversations, man. We were talking about, making moves, talking about business decisions, man, talking about growth and all kind of stuff, man. It was just a wonderful scenario. This brother's queen was in the background cooking some, I think she made some teriyaki chicken, brother. We ate like kings, man. We ate like kings, brother. Burning Colorado. Life was good, man. We're just on some king shit, man. But one of the things we were talking about, man, is this very subject, how a lot of men just don't understand, the masculine and feminine dynamic. To be honest, very few men understand it, right? And I'm gonna tell you the first sign I can know when a man doesn't understand it. When a man talks about masculine and feminine energy, a lot of men think that's about, pumping chests and being powerful men and all this stuff. Being masculine and being feminine, man, is really about understanding, having an understanding of what your superpower is. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of men still think that when when they hear the words masculine and feminine, they still think that it's this. They still think that it's masculine and feminine down here, man. Like the woman is is less than us or whatever, man. You have to understand that masculine, feminine is not about upper or lower or who outweighs who or who has value. It's more about being on opposite ends of the spectrum. If you can understand that masculine and feminine is not up and down, but it's opposite ends of the spectrum, but you can start to understand it more. You can start to understand it more. And you got to understand that the mission from the very beginning was to throw that knowledge off. From the very beginning was to throw that knowledge off, man. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think about the whole, feminist movement and all that stuff, that's really not about empowering a woman. It's really about dumbing down women or dumbing down men. You know what I'm saying? Like, go back to the Bible when it talks about Adam and Eve, when it talks about Eve being brought from the rib, that it's automatically been taught to us that the dynamic was that women are below us. And I know a lot of you brothers are saying, "Oh, so you can't you pandering and all this stuff." I'm giving you knowledge, brother. To even say that, man was on the planet and ruling and making decisions, and then woman came later out of his rib to do blase. What that's saying, it's impossible to even happen. If you understand the laws that govern this world, you already understand that it's impossible to happen. Nothing in this plane, in this third dimensional plane, can exist without its polar opposite. That's what makes it what it is. Like, what would you even call a man if a woman didn't exist? What would you call a woman if a man didn't exist? And like I would say, it's almost like if blue or red was the only color in existence. We wouldn't call it red. We wouldn't call it anything because we wouldn't have anything to contrast it against, right? So that just lets you know, man, that the dynamic has been thrown off from day one. We've been taught to throw the dynamic off. You have to understand, brothers, that once you understand the power or just understand masculinity and femininity, period, but your life is going to change. Your life is going to change with women. Your life is going to change with everything in your life because you understand the full dynamic of things, brothers. And then there's the mission or movement or whatever you want to call it of men moving in their own energy. And I'll be honest, that is a good energy because honestly, that's how a man should move through this world. A man should move focused on this mission. If he doesn't have a woman in his life, it should be all mission. It should be all mission. But what you have to understand is, brothers, we can talk about, semen retention. We can talk about, all those things that empower a man to move solo. And those things are good, right? But you have to understand that a man, can be powerful, but not nearly as powerful as he can with a woman in his life. Like I don't care what side of the red pill fence you're sitting on. You have to understand that dynamic. You have to understand that dynamic. If you don't, you really don't understand opposite end of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? It's like two parties having a combination to one lock. It's almost like having one lock. I'm talking about life. It's almost like having one lock where two people's key are required to open it. I think in the workforce we used to call it like two man lock or two man some kind of system where it took two people's access to unlock. Where they have two padlocks on it, where they have two combinations on each end, but both locks had to be present to unlock this ultimate box or whatever. Right? That's what the dynamic of male and female is like. It's like, yes, a man can be strong, a woman can be strong, but when they come together and put both of their keys in that one locks, that's when they tap into a level of God, a level of connecting the source, brother. That's what some would call miraculous, man. You have to understand that dynamic, man. So a lot of men just don't understand that. A lot of men think that masculine means pumping on chest. It means big money. It means big muscles. It means all this stuff. Masculine is an energy, man. True masculinity is actually damn near silent. It's actually damn near silent. The other day, man, brother in the power circle. I can't remember which one of her brothers said that. I don't want to say the wrong name. But a brother in the power circle, we were talking about masculinity, man. And a brother in the circle, we were talking about the strength of that energy. And her brother was like, it's like when a mom is saying, hey, you know what, sit down, kids, and do X, Y, Z, and do blase, blase. and a father walks in a room and the kids just automatically start governing themselves. Like, you have to understand that masculinity is a real thing. That's why I say the masculinity is tied to our God power, man. So we really have to understand what it is. It's not about the bells and whistles of life. It's not about all that. It's about that true essence that a man walks in. And we were talking about even how women are attracted to men. Like when women go after guys with the muscle or the money, 9 times there are very few women that are actually real gold diggers. When a woman is going after a man for his money or for his physical strength, what she's really saying is, you know what? I understand what it takes to make that. I understand that a man has to be in his God essence. He has to be in his focus. He has to be connected to the all to even generate that. And that's really what she's drawn. She really wants that energy. And I said this the other day, man. I said the 5% woman and the 95% woman they really have the same goal. They really have the same goal. And I talked about that in the lecture, man, which is available, right? So a lot of men just don't understand that dynamic. But at the same time, a lot of women don't understand the dynamic or their strength as being feminine. You know, when a man is walking in a certain energy, that demands a woman to be feminine, you know what I'm saying? When he's just walking in his masculinity, and any woman that comes into his circle, his world is now, demanded to conduct herself in a certain way. A lot of women think that a lot of men are saying, you know what? Get thee behind me or sit below me. When a man is demanding a woman to walk in her femininity, what he's really saying is step into your power. He's really saying step into your power. A lot of men that are being called assholes for not liking a certain type woman, what they're really is saying, you know what? No, I need a powerful woman. You know, yes, she may seem dainty and very feminine and all that stuff, but I'm appreciating that woman for her power. You have to understand that, man. You have to understand that a man's life can be magnified if his woman is in her superpower. Just like women are, to the core, really attracted to a man's masculinity because that's his God energy. Us men on the same token are attracted to that femininity. I'm telling you, on the deepest level of every man gonna like, either he's a breast man or he like big booties or he likes whatever, right? But at his core, what he really wants is that feminine woman. And once his mindset gets to a certain level of understanding, he starts to become attracted to a different type woman. But that's what that means when a man walks in a manner and he's saying, you know what, a woman that's in my life, she has to move in a certain energy. What he's saying is, sister, step into your superpower. Like, you have to be if you're gonna be with me. Because what he's saying is, if you aren't going to step into your superpower, like if you're just gonna be some pretty chick, like you really offer me no value. Or if you want to come in my life and you want to conduct yourself on an energetic level, like a man, you really offer me no value. I'm gonna tell you this, brothers. A man that's walking in his true light, a man that's connected to God, brother, he doesn't need the majority of women that roam these streets, man. He doesn't need it, man. He needs a certain type feminine energy. A certain type feminine energy, man. A woman that doesn't have that really offers that man no value. No value at all, man. It's almost like a seesaw, right? Like when we talk about what that value is, picture a man and a woman on a seesaw. Now let's say this seesaw is maybe 3 or 4 feet long. It's a short one. And they're sitting there going up and down. You have to understand that as far as they are apart, as long as that seesaw is, that man and that woman can go higher. That man can go higher. So when Neville Goddard and Outwin the Devil was saying, hey, how did I get to this level of consciousness? That entity said it was because of your wife. What he was saying is your wife is in so much of her femininity, like she's so far on the other end that seesaw, man. Like when the pendulum is swinging, like you're up here now, because that seesaw is so long, man. So the more feminine a woman is, it just allows both sides to go to the extreme. A man can be in his, more dominant masculinity and vice versa. and vice versa, man. And this is where a lot of women get them confused, because a lot of women don't understand this too, man. A lot of women in our society think that, just because they're women, right, that the world should just be given to them. They think that, a man's job is to just shower them with gifts and always and put them on a pedestal. Like, a lot of women think that. And I'm not saying these women are bad, but a lot of women think that, and they think that they're in their feminine energy. Feminine energy is very specific, mothers. And I'm going to tell you, you might see a woman that's sexual, but that doesn't mean she's feminine. You know what I'm saying? You might see a woman with a lot of curves and makeup and all that. That doesn't mean she's feminine. Feminine is an energy, man. Just like masculine is an energy of being a leader, being assertive, being a decision maker, being on purpose. Just like that, femininity has an energy. And femininity is about giving. True femininity is about a giving energy. And I'm going to tell you this, brothers, when you meet a woman that's in that energy, if you've never done it, it's going to seem very weird, man. That dynamic is going to seem, because it's so much against Western culture. When you meet a woman that's all about pouring into you and I just want to make your world better and how can I, that's true feminine energy. And I'll tell you why. Because I know a lot of you saying, no, women shouldn't move. I'm going to tell you why. True feminine energy understands, a woman in her true femininity understands her power. And what I mean is she understands that if she's pouring into a man like that, and I'm not talking about monetary, I'm talking about energetically. I'm talking about in her speech. I'm talking about in her acts of service, in her, you know what I'm saying? She's just a giving spirit. What she understands is once that man tastes that, once he experiences that and it elevates him on an energetic level, and now he can create more, he can create more revenue. He can create more, bigger plots of land, bigger car, whatever he's trying to. She understands that's going to be a byproduct. She understands that world is going to just rain down on her. She understands that. She understands her superpower. She understands that, once she's really giving to a man, he won't be able to separate himself, because a man in his masculine is going to understand that power. He's going to say, you know what, man, I see now that I'm elevated. So that's the check and balance. She understands that if she's pouring in, man, the love is coming back down, man. In her true femininity, though. A woman moving in her true femininity understand that, man. All I'm saying is, ultimately, man, like a lot of the issues we're having, and from a man's standpoint, pretty much all issues you're having, it's really about a man tapping into his God power. It's really about a man tapping into his masculine. And I've said this a million times, brothers. I said all roads lead back to knowledge of self. I don't care if it's your money. I don't care if it's, my boss is acting funny. I don't care. Whatever it is in life, I don't care if it's wondering why I can't get women and why women are responding a certain way. Why my woman doesn't respect me. But it's all tied back to understanding what's inside of you. It's all tied back to what's inside of you, man. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand, brother, when you're talking about, just the dynamic, you have to understand, man, that masculinity is about living a life of no compromise. And I'm not talking about being in a relationship and you're saying, hey, well, I'm the man and everything goes my way. But as men, we have to be in an energy that says, you know what? Source first, mission second. And anything that's not in line with that, I have to veto it as a man. I have to be assertive. I have to be on purpose to accomplish that. I have to be a leader. That's what masculinity is, man. That's what masculinity is, man. And like I said, I just broke down that whole thing on how scenarios play themselves out. If you don't understand that, I broke down how it plays out at work. I broke down how it just plays out in society, and definitely how it plays out in your relationship. Most relationships that go south, a lot of it is because we aren't moving as we should as men. To be honest, all of it has to be. Think about it. All of it has to be our fault. You can't call yourself a man if you're saying, you know what, or I'll say this, as a whole, as a collective, we can't call ourselves men if we're saying, you know what, there's a scenario or there's a, issue that we're having, And it's taking place because, XYZ, something outside of us. Women are doing it. Brother, we can't say we're quarterbacking this whole thing unless we're going to take responsibility of it all. That's part of that leadership package. So all I'm saying is we have to understand the dynamic between the masculine and the feminine. Because again, a lot of the problems we're facing are stemmed from that, man. I was thinking the other day, man, I had a partner that called me the other day talking about the relationship between him and his wife, right? And I told him,